Hey up, how you doing? Welcome back. I just finished watching Lawrence Lost in the Pond. Brits ain't got nothing on. No, Britain ain't got nothing on US state fairs. I agree massively. Ours are nowhere near as big as that. And as when it comes to the food, literally, like have a burger and hot dog vendor, and another one doing things like I don't know donuts and candy floss, cotton candy as you guys call it. Uh, but this one is Emma Robinson. It's kind of the same sort of thing, isn't it? Like fun places to go to. Emma Robinson, America does family resorts very different to the UK. Right, when I think of family resorts, it's somewhere where you can go for either a weekend or a fortnight, I suppose. Uh, as long as you want, as long as you pay us. I don't know, go somewhere where you can go for a little break or a proper holiday or vacation or whatever. But yeah, we've got things like Butlins and Centre Parks and stuff like that. I'm sure there's loads of others too, but they're the main one that I've heard of. Well, Butlins has loads of different resorts all over the country, but I believe Centre Parks is only just one in the middle of the Peak District or something like that. Never been to Centre Park, so I'm not sure about that one. But I've been to a Butlins, very family friendly. They're all 9 times out of 10, or maybe 10 times out of 10. They're all on the coast, so yeah, they're pretty cheap places to go to take your family. No, that's probably not true anymore. There used to be cheap places to take the family to be near the coast, to get to the seaside towns and that. But I'm guessing family resorts America's huge and there's a lot of inland too, ain't they? So I'm going to be guessing that they're all over the damn place. But this one looks like a water park, and I imagine there's all sorts of resorts there. All sorts of resorts, I like that. All sorts of resorts over there. The cowboy style stuff and that. I don't know. I feel as though you got NASCAR resorts and everything. I don't know why, but you probably have. Right. Anyway, I'll give it a like. 'Cause I'm already subscribed. I'll get on with it before I talk too much more nonsense. Let's go.
America does family resorts very differently to the UK. And as Brits living in
Oh,
America, we
we have VR arcades here. There's one just down the road from me, but it ain't a shooting one. It's like you just put the headset on. It's like I don't know. You get taken through stuff. Never been on it.
have never experienced. America does family resorts very differently to the UK. And as Brits living in America, we have never experienced anything like this before. This isn't just a water park, it's an entire indoor resort built around families with giant slides, arcades, restaurants, activities, themed rooms, and honestly, controlled chaos. And we
Right,
just
that
keep
control
coming
chaos.
back.
I was about to say it's like a magic land, but it seems
We've
so
now
she
visited Great Wolf
thought it
Lodge
were, didn't she?
5 different times. We've now visited Great Wolf Lodge 5 different times across 4 different locations. And no matter which one you go to, when you arrive, you get given your free set of ears to go and enjoy your stay. And over time, we've actually figured out a few tricks that save a lot of money here. I'll get to that later. Because this is Great Wolf Lodge. And let me show you why American family resorts feel completely different to anything that we've experienced in England. One massive difference compared to the UK is just how normal these huge family resorts seem to be in America. In England, if you go away somewhere with kids, it's usually either a caravan park, a hotel with a swimming
Butlins.
pool, or maybe somewhere like Centre Parks where everything is spread out across a huge forest area. But here in America, places like this almost feel like mini indoor theme park resorts, and what shocked us most is how many families stay here for multiple days at a time. The first time we
You would,
visited,
wouldn't you? It
I
looks fun.
honestly thought this would just be one night, swim a bit, then leave. But once you're actually inside, you realize why people stay longer because there's genuinely enough to keep kids busy all day. The first thing that surprised us is just how much is actually packed into one building. In England, family resorts tend to be a lot more spread out and outdoorsy, whereas here everything is basically under one roof. You've got the huge indoor water park kept warm all year round.
As I said, I ain't got much of an experience with resorts. As I said, I've been to a Butlins once before. I don't think I was on holiday there. I just think I went on there because I was in that time. I've got Butlins down here that I used to go on as a teenager to have a few beers and that. Uh, but yeah, no, nothing like this.
Arcades, mini bowling, ropes courses, restaurants, sweet shops, activities for the kids, including something called MagiQuest, which basically turns the entire resort into one huge interactive game. Now, this is an extra activity you do have to pay for
Kind of noticed that
separately
with that one
unless
a
it's
minute ago.
included in one of the activity passes, but you can really see why kids love it. Kids get given these interactive magic wands, and as you walk through the hallways, you'll see children waving them at paintings, treasure chests, crystals, and random objects on the walls. And suddenly things start lighting up, moving, or activating. The whole resort basically becomes one giant scavenger hunt. You're given different quests and clues to follow, and the kids run around the hotel trying to complete missions, unlock items, and level up their character. What's
Great way
also
of
quite
keeping them
clever
busy.
is the one saves your progress, so you can actually bring it back on future visits and continue playing again.
Oh,
At
nice! You
first,
get to
I
keep
thought
it.
it would just be a small side activity, but it's massive. Kids are completely into it, running through
They get to keep it. I bet it doesn't last until next year if they go back the year later. It makes sense to get to keep it because then the kid keeps moaning about wanting to go back to play with it. Genius.
the corridors with capes and wands trying to solve clues. And it's little things like this that make these American family resorts feel so different to anything we've experienced in England. Americans seem really good at creating experiences around families. Everything is designed to make life easier with children. You can go from your room to the water park to food to arcades to activities.
Unless it's a water park. What I'm about to say now don't apply to water parks. Obviously, the parents are always watching. But any sort of a resort, the parents will be at a bar, at a table, whether they're drinking alcohol or not, and the kids will just be off somewhere else on their own. It's usually how it goes. Go and play with the other kids. Literally. So it was when I was a kid anyway.
Without ever needing to leave the building. And when you've got tired kids, wet towels, bags, snacks, and everything else parents carry around constantly, you really start appreciating how convenient that actually is. The water park itself is massive. You've got giant slides, a lazy river, wave pools, little climbing activities built into the water areas for kids, giant tipping buckets. It just feels like sensory overload in the best possible way. And
I was just about to say, as long as you ain't got a wave machine, I'm good with that. I went into a wave machine once. I was a kid. I weren't even in double digit numbers of age yet, and I didn't know about this thing. Like a little alarm went off, and the wave started. I nearly drowned, panicked like mad, and never went back into that pool. For years after that, if I went anywhere near water, I was like, I ain't got no wave machine, has it? Horrible thing, and it was mental. A little bit more rough than that looked a minute ago.
then during the warmer months, they also open the outdoor pools and water slides as well, which just makes the whole place feel even bigger. But because it's all indoors in the cooler months, it
See,
doesn't really matter what the
they have made it proper family friendly for the kids, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Little things to step about on and that, not just the one.
weather is doing outside, which makes such a difference when you have kids. Another thing that surprised us compared to England is just how enthusiastic everything feels. In the UK, family places can sometimes feel a little bit more relaxed and understated. But here, everything feels big. The music is louder, the themes are bigger, the reactions are bigger, energy is bigger. Even when you walk through the lobby, there's usually music playing, kids running around excited, giant decorations everywhere, staff doing activities. It almost feels like organized chaos, and that atmosphere becomes part of the fun. One thing that my daughter absolutely loves here is the themed rooms. Some of them have little bunk bed areas designed like wolf
It all
dens
does look
or cabins,
immaculate
which just
to
makes the
to
whole
me.
experience feel even more exciting for kids. It's the little details that stand out so much to children, and you will find them all over the resort. But what really makes this place feel different isn't even just the water park, it's how much they turn it into an actual experience. Throughout the day, they have little activities going on for children, character appearances, dancing, games, and then later in the evening, they'll even have things like kids' discos and dance parties. And after all the chaos of the day, everything eventually starts winding down into the interactive story time down in the lobby before bed. And it's just little things like that which make it feel less like a normal hotel and more like a full family getaway. One thing we also found really clever here is how everything works off of the wristband. So there's no need to be worrying about where your room key is or where your bank card is, especially when you're running around swimming. Your room key is on it, you can charge food to it, you can go shopping with it in the gift shop. It is really, really handy to have. So instead of constantly carrying
Hooked up
wallets,
to your bank
cards, room
account.
keys, and everything else around while dealing with wet kids, everything is just attached to your wrist. And again, it's one of those little things that makes the whole place feel designed around families. It's kind of hard to
Actually, is it hooked up to your bank account? I bet it's not, is it? They just bill it back to your room.
explain the scale of these places until you actually walk into one. They're loud, busy, chaotic, over the top, but in a weird way, that's exactly why kids love them so much. And I think that's one thing America does really well in general. When Americans commit to a theme or experience, they really commit to it. And Great Wolf Lodge feels exactly like that. It's not just here's a pool for the kids, it's here's an entire themed experience designed to completely wear
It looks pretty damn modern with all the touchy stuff and all stuff like that. But it could have been updated and kept up to date over the years. So is it quite an old place that's been kept up to date with the modern technology, or is it kind of new? Because as I said, it looks spot on. It looks brand new to me.
your children out
It's got to have
before
been there a bit
bedtime.
though, hasn't it?
Now, one thing I will say, food here can get expensive pretty
I
quickly.
imagine.
So, over the different trips, we've learned a few ways to keep the costs down a bit. One thing we always do now is bring a cool box with drinks, snacks, and stuff to make meals with. The rooms do have fridges, so this definitely helps to keep the cost down, especially with kids, because after swimming for hours, they suddenly turn into a bottomless pit. My daughter does anyway. And because everything is so close and convenient here, it's very easy
I
to
like
just
that.
keep
It's all
buying food
medieval.
throughout the day without really realizing how much you're spending. So, little things like bringing your own drinks and food genuinely make a huge difference over a few days. And we've definitely learned over time what's actually
What
worth
is
paying
that?
extra for and
Gold
what
and
isn't. Now, don't
prospecting.
get me wrong, these places are definitely not
Is that what it's called? Like, it felt right before I said it, but when I said it, it didn't feel right. Gold prospecting. No, it is right, isn't it? Gold prospecting.
relaxed. And we've definitely learned over time what's
Panning for
actually
gold.
worth paying extra for and what isn't. Now, don't get me wrong, these places are definitely not relaxing. By the end of the trip, you're exhausted, your ears are ringing slightly, you've probably spent too much money,
And
and
you
your
need an
child
holiday when you
somehow
get
still
home.
has more energy left than you do. But honestly, that's probably why we keep coming back, because my daughter absolutely loves it. And as Brits living in America, it's
Excuse
one
me.
of those experiences that genuinely made us stop and think America really does family entertainment differently. I have read that Great Wolf Lodge is coming to England soon,
Oh,
so
nice.
hopefully they keep it on the same scale.
I can't see because of clickety click things on there. 3 lodges planned in Derby. Oh, one of my brothers lives in Derbyshire, and it ain't that far. It's like an hour and a half drive away. Derbyshire is from here. Maybe not even that. Right.
As
Let me
how
finish.
Americans do it and
Not
they
finish yet.
don't ruin it. I hope it is exactly the same, but we will see. Let me know below if you have
When was this video made? I'm gonna look at it 3 weeks ago. Oh, sorry, we won't have one yet. I was gonna say I'd give it a visit if there was one. But yeah, no, that was fascinating. But yeah, no, me personally, I ain't been to anything like that. on that scale, not on that size. But I feel as though we must have some sort of Harry Potter style hotel. Yeah, that's the right word, isn't it? Yeah, the right words. But again, not seeing results like that. Our Butlins are definitely not like that. I cannot comment on Centre Parks. All about I've seen on adverts, it looks beautiful and relaxing. But yeah, our Butlins are probably energetic wise more like that, but not on the grandeur of the Wolf. What was it called again? The Wolfgang. No, it weren't called that. Wolf Retreat, was it? I can't even bloody remember. Anyway, I enjoyed it, and if you guys did, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribe. Yeah. Goodbye. Bye bye.